Hey, how's it going, everybody? Tim here, back with another video. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about how to get a job in a national park. Now, I have been blessed to be able to work in or right outside of 3 national parks in the past few years. Those are Yellowstone, Rocky Mountain, and Glacier. And I have to say, some of the best experiences of my adult life. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say that. These national parks are beautiful, gorgeous places, and to be able to work in them and be there and see these parks on a daily basis, it's a great feeling. And I want to make this video because I know a lot of people realize that national parks are beautiful. You've probably seen like Yellowstone on TV and other places like that, and you might be like, man, I want to go there. But I will admit, just traveling to a national park and staying for the length of time it takes to get to see, all the cool stuff it has to offer, or a lot of the cool stuff it has to offer, can be a little pricey. I mean, I work at the hotels near these places or in these parks, so I know it can be a little steep. So my tip is to work in a national park so that not only do you get to spend a lot of time there and see all these cool sights and really get to feel like you're a part of the park in some sense, but you also get paid for it. So if you can't just take the time off and have the money to go visit a national park, if you can, go for it. Highly recommend it. I mean, there's like 60 national parks in the United States. I didn't even know there was that many. I think most people don't know there's that many. So if you can go visit one, go visit one. But if you don't have the coins, the shekels like that, working in a national park is a great way to see them. So question comes up, how do I get a job in a national park? And you might think it's very, very hard. It's a national park, it's probably federal, there's probably like 1,800 pages of paperwork, all this stuff. Actually, it's pretty easy. And I know you probably don't believe me because I didn't, because I actually learned about this from watching a guy's video on YouTube. And he said, oh, it's pretty easy. You go to this website and you fill out the application and you can get a job in a national park. And I was like, yeah, this guy's just, talking out his Jay Boutte. But I was like, I'll give it a try. Because at the time I really needed a change. And so I actually went to the website, filled out the applications. I went to the website, I saw different listings for different national parks, filled out the applications, and I think like 6 months later I was working in Yellowstone. So it really is that easy. So the website that I use is a website I talk about all the time. I think it's a great resource for seasonal work and people who want to travel. It's coolworks.com. As always, I will leave a link in the description box below. I'll actually link to their national jobs page. They have lots of different seasonal jobs, but they have a page specifically for national park jobs. And you go there and it will show you listings for jobs in and close by national parks. Here's the thing. Inside of the national parks, there are companies that run most of the concessionary things, like hotels and restaurants and all that. These are the companies you're working for. So you're not like working for the National Park Service or like the US government or anything like that. They're just regular companies who, keep the hotels clean and like make people's food. So it's pretty easy to get a job with these companies because they're always looking to hire people, especially like the summer months of the year, because they have to have a full roster because millions of people come through these national parks every year. So they have to have people there, to do the building, to do the maintenance, and to clean the hotel rooms and to make the people's food and all the other different jobs. And there's a wide variety of different jobs you can do. Now, if you want to be like a park ranger or, a firefighter or a lookout guy, I mean, there are ways to, get those jobs and work for the National Park Service. But for me, the way I did it, and the way I kind of recommend doing it, that's the easiest, is working for some of these companies that just run the concessions in the national parks for the government. Some of the big ones are like Xanterra, Delaware North. I work for Xanterra, highly recommend that company. But go to Coolworks, click, scroll down now if you want to the to the description box, and just click on the link to Coolworks' National Parks jobs page, and you will see the different type of jobs they have. There will also be, like I said, jobs that are like close to national parks. So you're not actually working in the national park, but it might be like the town right next to it. Place I'm working at now, Rocky Mountain National Park, literally is a 10-minute walk from my room right now. So I'm not actually in Rocky Mountain National Park, but I'm every time I'm off, pretty much, I go into the park, hang out. So there are a lot of jobs like that as well, which are just as cool. You know, you can walk into any national park for free, or you can get like a pass, which is pretty cheap, you know, and drive in there on your days off or after work or whatever. Or, like I said, you can find jobs that are actually in the park. When I worked at Yellowstone, I was in the park. I worked at the Old Faithful Inn. I literally could see out the window of the hotel I worked in, Old Faithful going off. I have to be honest, I mean, it's always a thrill to see it, but after a while it kind of got a little boring because I saw it like all summer. But that was a thrill the first time seeing that, being able to work that close to it. There was bison roaming all over the place, and just going from just being in Florida and living my average life to working inside of Yellowstone was probably one of the biggest like mind trips I've ever had in my life. It just, I mean, I think Yellowstone is like 200 million acres or something crazy. It's huge. It's in 2 states. It's huge. My mind just did not realize that there were that big of tracts of land that were just put aside, and there was wild animals roaming around, and mountains and canyons and rivers and meadows. And we would get off work and we'd hop in my buddy's car and we would just drive until we found a spot that looked cool, and we'd get out and we'd hang out and, you know, go fishing. And well, I don't fish, but my buddies would fish, or we just go hiking. I mean, it was just, there was so much open land. You could just do whatever you want, and it was all clean and peaceful, and just, I mean, to be able to do this every single day after work, mind-blowing, you know? So I highly recommend working in a national park. People always ask, what kind of money am I going to make? I always answer, it's not about the money, it's about the experience, being out in nature, being surrounded by nature on all sides for hours. You know, you'd have to drive hours to get out the park. It's crazy. So you're probably not going to be making a lot of money, somewhere close to minimum wage, a couple dollars more. The good thing is a lot of these jobs in the national parks provide housing. Since you're like deep in the national park sometimes, and they know most of the people they hire are from, you know, out of town or from different states, they provide housing. So you work and you live in the park. So it's a great setup. Like I said, go to Coolworks, look at the listings. You'll definitely get a better understanding of what I'm talking about if you go there and see for yourself. It was not really a hard process filling out the applications. It was like a standard job application, and honestly, I filled out, I think I applied for like 5 national parks my first time, because I was like, I want to work in a national park. Like I said, Coolworks has tons of seasonal jobs, but I was like, I want to work in a national park. And I think a couple months went by before I heard anything, and I kind of got discouraged and kind of forgot about it. And then like all 5 of them called me and emailed me at like within the same couple weeks. And so I kind of had my pick of where I want to go. They do a phone interview, since obviously most of the people who apply aren't local. They do a phone interview, which is pretty standard, not anything hard at all, nothing to be afraid of. And then they usually email you a job offer within a couple days. So seriously, you can get a job in a national park just by filling out 30 minutes on an application, 30 minutes on a phone interview, and then turning your paperwork in. And after that, they make sure, you know, they tell you how to get there. They provide transportation from usually the nearest big city. If you don't come with a car, I went to Yellowstone, didn't have a car. Bus picked me up in Bozeman, took me there. So pretty much everything is mapped out. It's a pretty easy process, pretty straightforward. If you really want to work in a national park, you can do it. You know, just pick 5 or 10 that you you like, and just, you know, fill out the applications, see what happens. Like I said, the summer months are typically the big months, though some national parks have a winter time jobs. Like I know Yellowstone, they stay open in the winter for the really crazy people who are crazy enough to visit Yellowstone in the winter. But summertime is big, and the jobs are usually just for the summer. You get a contract for 4 to 6 months. So if you have a free summer, if you can get some time off for 4 to 6 months, I think it's an experience that you'll never forget. People say that all the time, but I'm telling you, it really is an experience you'll never forget. That's why I keep going to different national parks, because I mean, they're all different. They all have different like scenery, different wildlife, and it's just some of the most beautiful places you'll ever see is right here in America. Like, we're always traveling overseas to see this beautiful stuff. We got all this beautiful stuff that the government has put aside and protected for us, and most of us never go. So be that person who either goes or gets a job there. If you have any other questions about working in a national park, feel free to leave them in the comment box below, or hit me up on my social medias. I'll leave them in the description box. I could talk about this for hours, so I definitely will be happy to answer any of your questions. I've helped some people in the past starting this kind of seasonal work, national park lifestyle. It always makes me feel great inside when someone says, hey, saw one of your videos and now I work at Yellowstone, or now I work at Glacier. So I'd love for you to be one of those people too. So yeah, any questions, ask me. That's what I'm here for. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.